Welcome to Golden Dunkers Live. I'm your host, Eric Harris Jr., aka the defensive specialist. Everyone, you can get in contact with me on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. One quick message to the parents of young student athletes. Anybody can score, but can you shut down your opponent? Once again, if you missed it, anybody can score, but can you shut down your opponent? If your answer to that question was no, don't worry, have no fear. All you have to do to get the solution to that problem is call 1-833-LOCK-YOU-UP. Once again, 1-833-LOCK-YOU-UP for all your basketball instruction needs. Being a great defender is a mindset. However, how to be a great defender is misunderstood. Yet, being a great defender is so necessary. It takes time to understand that. If your goal is to play on the highest level that you aspire to play on, you will never get there because you have to be able to defend. If you can't defend, you're not going to achieve those goals. So let me help you. Once again, 1-833-LOCK-YOU-UP. This is our 4th episode of Golden Dunkers Live, and it feels so good to have a community where Gopher fans can come together and show love, support, and positivity for the Gopher basketball program. So thank you for all the love and the feedback. It's appreciated. It's appreciated, but we need more feedback, people. We need more feedback. Tell us how we're doing, and let us know which one of your former Gophers that you want to see on the show next time. Let us know what Gophers you want to see. So continue to give that feedback. And once again, thank you so much. Our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is a great individual. I heard so many great things about him before I met him. Nothing but positive things. This guy, hands down, will go down as one of the most athletic Gophers, one of the most physically intimidating Gophers, / one of the most fearless Gophers to ever don that maroon and gold uniform. The guy was just a dog on the court. He would lock you up. He would get buckets on you, and he just had the heart of a lion. Even though we only had him for 2 years, it was a great 2 years. He's from North Carolina, 6'5", and he was just a beast on the court. So much love and respect to you, Mr. Vincent Grier. We appreciate everything you did. So without no further ado, I bring to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vincent Grier. VG, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Golden Dunkers. How you doing out there?
Bless, man. It's great to have you on, VG. What's going on, man? How you been?
I've been great, man. You know, helping like you doing, helping the youth, trying to see them succeed in life, giving back what was given to me basketball-wise, and just staying on the grind every day, you know. We can't win every battle, but we try to win most.
Yes, sir. All day long, man. Like I said, VG, you're going to go down, like I said, pound for pound, that 6'5", with the athleticism you had, man, the physical strength, and just your mindset. Like I said, you scored the ball. That wasn't hard to you, but what I love, you were a two-way player, man. You weren't afraid to get in there and mix it up and try to shut people down. Is that an accurate summary of the way you approach the game?
Definitely, definitely. And I hate always talking about generations, but I think my generation as well as yours, we were in a mindset of, I'm going to score and shut my man down. Whoever the best player is, this day and age, it's a little different. You get heat on defense, or it's buddy ball. You score, I score, at 30, we laugh and shake hands at halftime, but that wasn't our era, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely a lost art, man. You tell us what's going on, man. What you up to these days, and
Well, Um,
I agree.
well, I got Grier efficiency going on. Once I retired and went back to school in 2016, I went and got my LLC, and I've been just having kids and modeling kids and getting them together with training wise, skill development, hosting camps and clinics, not only in Jordan, Arizona. I'm also in Carolina, Memphis, and Atlanta. But it all started in Jordan, Minnesota, where I hosted my first camp at and did a lot of trainings out there because someone reached out to me and told me it was a lot of supporters of the Gophers out in the Jordan area, but no one never comes down. And I felt I could tap into that community because I want every kid to get what I had out of basketball, not only the game of basketball, but things I learned along the way, like the life lessons, building character, everything that the game has given to me.
That's important, VG. What you're doing, man, is so huge. Kids need to see role models like yourself that not only had success on the court, but you went back, got your degree, and you're a success story, man. You're one of the guys that got out of where you came from and made things happen for yourself. So kudos for you on that, and congrats on getting that degree taken care of as well, man.
Thank you. And to you too, congrats on yours too.
Appreciate it. Well, we're gonna get back to what you're doing with the training and let people know how they can contact you and get in touch with you, because I know what you're bringing to the table is necessary and important. So we'll get back to that. You see where I'm at, VG. I don't know if you had a chance to check out the facilities, man. So many bells and whistles over here. Everything that the players of today need are at Athletes Village, man. It's a phenomenal facility.
I've heard, I've seen it. I haven't got a chance to walk it because, like I was telling you, I was up there last week and I just walked briefly past it. But I heard it's like an Elite 18 facility. You got barbershops, got whirlpools, ice baths, um, everything that you can have. Now it's no need. We're no need. We're not in the bottom tier of the Big Ten anymore. We're in the higher echelon, and we need to start putting that on the court.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's big time now, brother. It's big time. So let's switch gears a little bit, VG. Let's take them back. You're from Charlotte, North Carolina, correct?
Yes, I am.
So let's take the people back. Let's take your fans back to Charlotte, North Carolina, and what your experience was like growing up down south. And that's the hotbed of basketball, man. Down south, we like to say New York is up there in terms of basketball, but Carolina, man, is so much talent down there. Take us back to your days growing up playing and your high school years. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'll tell you. I went to South Mecklenburg high school. I played for the Charlotte Aces AAU team, where I played with about 10 Division I players. Going into my junior year, I had an AAU tournament. We played against Oak Hill, which had Carmelo Anthony and a couple other guys. Mount Zion at the time had Amari Stoudemire, who ended up going to the league out of high school, Jared Jack, who ended up going to Georgia Tech, and a few more guys. And with that said, I played great that tournament. It was a Charlie Weber event. Mount Zion, after the game, came over, told my grandmother, this kid no longer needs to go to South Mecklenburg. He needs to come to my school. And when Coach Fozar, who was the pastor's son at the time, he told me that because they had a legendary coach, Joe Hawkins, at the time as well. But Tracy McGrady went there, and that was one of my all-time favorites. And it was more of, I have to go, Mom. She was like, you've never been away from home. That's going to be go. Make a Lord. I end up going, end up getting some offers. My offers start going up. Go to ABCD in Teaneck, New Jersey. People may not remember ABCD. That was one of the most prestigious Adidas camps back in the day. It was only two. It was Nike and Adidas. And Sonny Vaccaro sent the handwritten letter to my house. I had LeBron James, if you're familiar, Lenny Cook, Sebastian Telfair, Chris Bosh, Aaron Williams, to name a few. You know, I've been in a good camper with the good guys. You know, some are leaguers, some will be HOFers one day, in the whole nine. But with that said, my grandmother and grandfather, they had missed the game since I was 5 years old,
Wow.
and I committed to Charlotte. I had seen them take minivans and in our vehicle at the time, going to Florida to the worldwide of sports, to nationals, to pool play, to state tournaments for AAU. So I know they were getting a little up in age, and I wanted them to see me play college basketball. So with that said, I committed to UNC Charlotte. Coach Lutz, Kevin Nickelberry was a great success. He recruited me. Everything was going good. And I was going with one of the brothers who had played AAU with my whole career. And you know, UNC Charlotte was probably a good situation at the time. Me looking back on it, and I was young. I was averaging around 20 minutes a game, and I was watching all my peers average 30 minutes a game. And now I look on it and I know better. 20 minutes is a lot as a freshman.
Yes.
But you know, at the time I was a little naive and young and a little ahead of myself. So I told my mom and I talked to my grandmother, and she said, "Well, baby, you have to live out your dream." And I went to coach and told him I wanted to transfer, and he didn't want that. He wanted me to stay, and he tried to do everything to make me stay. Make a long story short, I wasn't able to get my release from Charlotte. I had to go to Dixie State Junior College, where I met Coach Kidder, which is in St. George, Utah. Nation had 3 or 4 great overseas guys, college guys before me. Mo Baker, Jaime Loretta, Marcus Banks, to name a few. So Coach Kidder was about 5'7". He told me, if you could play for me, you could play for anybody. And just the things he instilled with me, from the work ethic to how tough his practice was, I was equipped to anything anyone could throw out there. And I was 4 their coaches with my time with the Heat. Pat Riley, of course, RIP, a great Gopher, not only a great NBA coach, Flip Saunders, and a great person in Washington in '09, Coach Munson, everybody, but he had me equipped and ready, not only physically but mentally, how he challenged me every day. You know, that's where I learned to punish my body. I would play so hard in practice where the game was so easy. I didn't look at 34 minutes, you know, because I did that through practice every day, night in and night out, you know, leading up to the season. When I got to Minnesota, he told me right before, when Coach Walker recruited me, because it came down to 3 schools. It came down to Arizona, Oklahoma, and Minnesota. Mm-hmm. It's crazy because I visited Minnesota and wasn't no one there. It wasn't cold, but it was in the summer, but no one.
Slow down, V. Don't give them Minnesota yet. We don't want to give them that piece yet. Okay. Not yet. Okay. You mentioned, well, before we go back a little bit, I truly believe that we all go through situations in life for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, which prepares you for your future. And your story, the things you went through, man, prepared you, like you said, for what you had to go through when you got here. But you mentioned 2 names.
Yes.
I don't know if too many people caught that. 2 legendary names. Sonny Vaccaro.
Yes.
And ABCD Camp.
Yes.
Sonny is legendary, man. The guys that he mentored, obviously, legend has it, he got Michael Jordan his first deal. But that camp, ABCD, it was legendary. Like you said, it was only 2 camps. It wasn't 100 camps. You either went to Nike camp or you went to ABCD, which was Adidas. So were you at the ABCD camp where Lenny Cook and LeBron went at it?
Yes, that was '01. That was my year. Wow. To be honest with you, I was front row of that game. Lenny Cook came down, gave LeBron James 7 crossovers in a row, and LeBron fell for every one of them.
Wow.
The LeBron that don't know one know now. It's a different LeBron, LBJ now.
Yes.
But the making of LBJ, Lenny Cook, will go down as one of the best high school talents never made the NBA ever, which we all know.
Mm.
7 crossovers, all in one possession, left to right, right to left, left to right, right to left. Shot a three-pointer. Great. LeBron came back, and I think if I'm mistaken, sometimes my mind goes a little bit, but I think it was 23 straight points.
Wow.
And LeBron was a junior at the time, and Lenny was going into his senior year, or LeBron was going to be a junior, and Lenny was going into his senior year.
Wow, legendary. So can you just describe to young people, first of all, how good you had to be to go to one of those camps back then, and the electricity in the gym? I know when I went, I think my senior year in high school, every coach, every major Division I coach was at ABCD camp. My coach, Gary DeCesar, do you remember that name, Gary DeCesar?
Yeah. Yes.
That's my high school coach. He ran ABCD during that time. So it was just electric back then, man.
I'll tell you, it was probably the top 150 players in the nation would come. I'm going to say this. I'm appreciative, but I was also in the top 100 myself. I had been ranked high as 59th and been low as 88. But the work you had to put in every day going on that, as we call now the circuit, the AAU circuit. We would go to different tournaments, match up with these guys, and like we said, it had to be a mano, and the people would judge. If you beat out that person that day, your ranking would go up. So the young people, what they fail to realize, it wasn't just about shooting jumpers and looking pretty. You had to play both ends of the floor, and you had to do something exceptional well. You either had to play great D and could be a great slasher, shoot a great jumper, but you had to play on that opposite end, or you threw the ball between the teeth of the defense. You had great as well, so it was just the intensity level. It was no friends, no handshakes at half court. It was like, I'm going to bite your head off, but at the end of the day, once the sounds in and the courts and the game's over, we would shake hands. It was back to friendship. But between those lines, you wasn't my friend. You could be my best friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Different time, man. Different time. Shout out to my coach, Gary DeCesar. Great job running ABCD, Coach DeCesar. So, okay, let's switch gears again, VG. So you talked about going to UNC Charlotte, and not working out there. And, prior to getting on live, we talked about maturity, and sometimes it takes guys to understand certain situations and, what's good and what's not. So you leave there. And now can you just talk about the path to the Gophers and how that kind of came to fruition with the whole
I'm going to say this. It was almost, how can I say this? It was for me to go back to Division I because they said it was set up that way, I feel. It was God's plan. I was preseason, first team All-American, first team wing guard, all that going into junior college. So the stage was set. Once again, we're going to talk about Coach Kidder. He told me, if you're not willing to put in this work and go back to Division I and be a star, you need to leave my university right now. And that lets me know you're on my side of the team, and I'm all for you because you're all for me. You want the best for me, so therefore I'm going to run through a wall for you. And make a long story short, we won the league. All accolades came later. My recruiting process had opened back up. Our country, now I'm on the West Coast, so the Utahs, the LA schools, everyone's coming into play. Back Tobacco Rose back in of course, you got some of the ACC schools, Big East, and it's a handful. And now me and Coach Kidder, excuse me, we're looking over rosters of who's leaving, what's going on, what you think, da da da. Make a long story short, I'm also looking at what other JUCO players are going to take. It's going to go to each school, and like I said, it became down to Oklahoma, Arizona, and Minnesota. And Arizona at the time, they had Salim Stoudemire, Mustafa Shakur, Iguodala lately he went to the league late. They had Shannon Fry. Oklahoma had Calvin Sampson was a great coach. I heard other things, but Terrell Everett, which was another wing guard, he was number 2 wing guard in the country at the time. He committed to Oklahoma. So therefore, Minnesota had went 3-13. Chris Humphries had went to the NBA, 13th or 14th pick. I felt it was wide open at the guard spot. I like what Munson had to offer when he came in and talked to my parents. And the rest is history, I came up here and, I'm a hard hat and worked hard. And if you ever talk to him or you ever heard stories, he'll tell you what I was instilled from Coach Kidder. I try to be first in every drill. I was never trying to be second. I tried to set an example right now. I was all about winning. I don't have a losing mentality. I'm about winning, not only on the court and in life. And I think that helped the people that was there with that losing season and come in my junior year, and that's what made us go to the NCAA tournament, because they seen not only is he a team player, but he's a leader, and they got behind me, and the rest is history.
Yes, sir. The individual that you remind me of my teammate Bobby Jackson. Bobby went to JUCO, and what I get from guys that go to JUCO, they come from where you had to grind and fight for everything. I never played JUCO, but it just seems like the environment there is like you got to fight and scratch and claw for everything. It's obviously not D1, so you may not have the perks of a D1 program, so it's harder. But when you finally get to that D1 program, like you said, everything you had to go through, the grind, the fight. I'm not going to say it's easy on the D1 level, but you just come in with a totally different mindset. And that's how Bobby was. Bobby was a fighter. He's not backing down from anything. He's going to always go hard. And that's what allowed him to have a great 12, 11-year career in the NBA, just that fight and that grit. Does that sound familiar a little bit?
Definitely. I've heard that analogy a couple of times that I reminded of Bobby Jackson a lot. But one thing,
Bob is maybe 6'1", but the same mindset.
Yes, but I'm going to also say he a North Carolina guy as well. He's from Salisbury, so it's in us. It's not on us. It's just in us.
Yeah.
Just like when you talk like you're a New Yorker, you talk about New York basketball. It's in you all. It's not on you. When you come with a persona like I come from around the best. So people are genuinely attached to you like, okay. That's just how it is,
And you got to live up to that reputation. Like I said, North Carolina, the hoopers that came from that state, man. So you just have to live up to it. And you brought that dog with you. And like you said, that next year y'all went to the tournament, correct?
Yes, 21-10. We were seeded 9th. Played Iowa State, unfortunately, but it was a dream come true. I can't lie. We lost the game, but it couldn't have been no better. Could have been no better ending. I get back to Division I. We go to the NCAA tournament. We Charlotte, North Carolina. We play on my birthday, March 14th, 2005. What else could I ask for? It was like it was God's plan. My grandparents got to see me. They got to bring the whole team over, cook good sauce. I grew up, baby pig. It was all the camaraderie that I could ask for,
God is great, man. Can you describe a little bit? Obviously, I heard the name. I was kind of disconnected with the program a little bit. Obviously, I saw you play, but how would you describe Coach Munson, his coaching style, his personality? How would you describe him for those that didn't really get a chance to see him coach live and up close?
Coach Munson was a player's coach. And you can look at some of the games from before when he had Rickard, he had Humphreys. He believed in his guys, but also a team concept. But he wanted who he believed right then and there was going to be a leader. You had to lead his team, and you had to do that from on the floor. He was the coach, of course, but he wanted his leader to coach on the floor. And you can't ask for nothing better than that. Because, you know, we would go in film sessions. We would have practices, talks after practice. Like, Vince, we have to do this. We have to do that. I got you, coach. Say no more. And he understood. Everything else doesn't have to be explained. You know, he had already talked to me. I come in. I was going to show everybody what was going on. We didn't have to talk about it. I was going to show you on the floor and lead by example. And I think that took a little pressure off him as well.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna quiz you a little bit, VG. Let's see how good your mind is working right now. We already established Coach Munson was the head coach your first year. Yes. So who was the starting five your first year?
Aaron Robinson. He's now at North St. Paul coaching with Dan Johnson. The two guard, the three was Brent Lawson. The four, they split time because sometimes one would start, one would not start. You had Jason Stamper that come from JUCO. He's a New York guy.
Sure.
Then you had Dan Coleman. He's a realtor now. Five, you had Jeff Hagan at the 5. That was our starting lineup. And the crazy part, Lil A sits about 5'6", 5'7". We could switch 1 through 5 because Aaron Robinson could front the post so well, and he lifted 300 pounds bench press. They couldn't throw it over the top or get the ball to him. So by the time they would throw it, we could get back and help. But we just had that dog mentality. Like me and Brent Lawson, we split my senior year. We both was top 1 and 2 in steals. My first year, I think I was 1, he was 3. We had a guard lineup that loved to play defense. We wanted an ugly game. We wanted to beat you 57-51. We didn't care. And Coach Mo, he's at Nebraska now. Coach Molinari, he had great defensive scheme for different guys. And that's what I think, that's what made us so successful. And I know you're a defensive guy as well, but on the other end, going into games, we told people, if we can score 52 points, we can hold them to 51.
Yes, sir. Especially at home. Nobody comes into Williams Arena and gets that dub, especially at home.
And that's how it was. And I'm still a firm believer. And I talk to guys now that plays college basketball, or I talk to parents that has players that play college. I talk to coaches as well. If you win all your home games, split on the road and win the 50-50 games, you great season. And now I truly believe that, because if you win half your and win home games, you're looking at over 500%. You know. So that's what we try to do, and we had a good record. We ran into Illinois that was 15-1 that year. We couldn't beat them, but everybody else we gave a run for their money.
Was that D. Will in them?
That was D. Will, Luther Head, Darren Williams, Luther Head, and D. Brown.
So the next question is easy then. You have to remember this. Who won the chip in 2005?
Oh, my guys. Those are actually my good
to North Carolina, huh?
Yeah, they're my good friends. You know, Ray Felton, Rashad McCants, Sean May, Jack. You know, you had Melvin Scott. If you want me to keep going, because those are my guys.
Yeah. Nah, that's what's up, man. So you had a great run, VG, man, and you left a lasting imprint here, like I said. Watching you when I was back home, it was just like that. You just played hard, bro. Like you were, like I described you earlier, you were a dog. You didn't back down from anything, man. So I appreciate you, man, because now they say when the kid plays hard, that's a talent. Playing hard is a talent. And I'm
Yes.
always like, what? You're supposed to play hard. That's not a talent. But that's what it is now. If a kid plays hard, that's a talent. So
Crazy. It's crazy, believe me. Like I
yeah.
said, I hate saying about the generations or separating the two, but it's crazy how playing your hardest is a talent. That is crazy. How is that? That's something you are supposed to do. You're immune to playing hard on both ends of the floor, not one end of the floor, but both ends of the floor.
Yes, sir. So next step, VG. After your Gopher career, walk us through briefly the next step, the league, overseas. Walk us through that process.
Well, going into my senior year, I broke my hand, but I ended up getting a few. Actually, I had a lot of. I had about 20 workouts. Went and trained in Chicago with Tim Grover. Leading into Chicago pre-draft camp, which is where everyone goes. That's going somebody that. Tim Grover told me Randy Funn had called them, and that's the owner of the Miami Heat, and was like, they said they're going to take you free agent. They don't have a draft pick because of the Shaq trade from LA to Miami, but they're going to take you if you don't get drafted. So I think you shouldn't go to Chicago. You should just work out with me. Me and you get in the gym one-on-one while everybody's in Chicago. And that's what we did. Make a long story short, they partially guaranteed me a deal. I went to vet camp, played my hardest. Things didn't work out. And it was just at the time numbers game. They were looking for one because Jason Williams was hurt. I was a combo at the time, more of a 2 than a 1. They love those guys now, but at that era I wasn't. And I ended up going to France for the next 2 years. Played on the Euro Challenge team. Ended up losing to Bologna, Italy, which had a former NBA player, Earl Boykins, and Keith Langford, who went to Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
That was 07, 08, 08, 09. 09, Flip Saunders got in contact with my agent at the time, who was Bill Duffy, told me they wanted me to come to vet camp. That was the same year the lockout happened, but they were looking to say that last roster spot because everyone was trying to gain that free agency with LeBron, which we all know what happened and when he took his time where he took. But I went to but getting back to the league, in Miami, I learned some real ethical things from some good to all my life from guys like Gary Payton, Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, Udonis Haslam. And I'm going to mention that name UD because he understood the grind. Why I say that, because he was All-American at Florida, and he was sent over to Cholet, France, and had to lose weight and came back, and now we know he had a 17-year career. But he would just tell me, you always had a hard-working mentality. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And he could tell just by my persona coming into practice every day, because Pat Riley let me know coming into practice, yeah, you have led the Big Ten in scoring, but you're no longer that in the NBA. You're a defensive guy.
He told you that?
Yes, he told me that. He said, and I never forget, 30 minutes prior to going into my first veterans camp practice, he told Dwayne Wade, which the next year was, no, the year before, he was the lead, he said, this guy is going to make it hard for you every practice because how he defends. That's a lot to put on me coming from school when you talk about a finals MVP. But, it was the best thing that probably could have happened for me, because me going against him every day and then going over to Europe, just the way I had to guard in my mindset, and I felt that no one was better than Dwayne Wade at the time, and it just worked out, and then I had a successful career in Turkey, 8 seasons in Turkey at the top level, and 2016, I wanted to get into coaching and give back and went back to school. But my playing career, I went to about 14 different countries because I played on cup teams. I got very cultured. And you think about coming from North Carolina, Minnesota, that gave me that advantage to go and play at a higher platform and also go and travel those countries because they put me on a platform to play in the Big Ten and also go play professional. It doesn't get no better than that. So I salute the Gophers for that.
Man, I salute you, bro. I was talking to Andre Hollins last episode, and obviously the league is the target that we all try to shoot for, but the overseas experience, going to different countries, man, it's priceless, bro. It's a blessing. You get to meet so many different people, learn different cultures, and it's just beautiful over there, man. So that's something that everyone doesn't get an opportunity to do, and you did it, bro. So that's success to me, man. That's success. And now the information and the knowledge that you have that you're passing on to the next generation is priceless. You can't pay for that. So
no, you can't.
You can't pay for that. So kudos on that, VG. So
sure.
once the career wrapped up, you coached a little bit, you said, and now you're giving back from a skill development standpoint. Can you talk about your training business? Let the people know your website and how they can get in contact with you via that.
Okay. My training business, I do all skill development from grade age, which is 7, all the way into college. I run camps, clinics, holiday camps and clinics, also individual sessions. I do group packaging. And how you can contact me, I have a website, GrierEfficiency.com. I also have Grier _ e-training. That's my Instagram. Also, you can also find me at Vince Grier 15. That's my other personal Instagram. And my email is Grier15training@gmail.com. But getting back to my training situation, what I do, I train my guys and girls because I have girls as well. I make sure that you learn the game of basketball, but I also try to teach you life skills on and off the floor. And what I mean by that, we can practice a jump shot, we can do dribbling drills, we can do a jab series, triple threats all day. But I want you to understand what basketball does for people, and that builds character. It also teaches you how to strategize. It teaches you how to work well with others, things that lead you into either owning your own business one day and having people that work for you, or you work in corporate America and have to incorporate that in a company. So that's what I do.
Beautiful. So repeat it one more time. GrierEfficiency.com
website. My website. And on the website, you will see my email, which is Grier15training@gmail.com. Also, my Instagram for my business page is get_e-training. Also, my personal page is Vince Grier 15.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a chance to work with Mr. Vincent Grier, I know for a fact you won't be disappointed, just the skill set that he can give, but also, like you said, the life lessons. Playing sports teaches you about life, the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations. So when you can hear those messages from someone like Vince, you have to take advantage of it. So let's talk about our Gophers, man. Have you been paying attention? Have you been watching games as of late? Had a couple tough heartbreakers, man. Like, when we play hard and we're locked in, I truly believe there's no team on the schedule that we can't beat. And when we have those lapses of complacency and lack of focus, then that's when things kind of get difficult. What's your take on the current group of Gophers?
You kind of hit it on the head. sometimes we look like one of the best teams in the Big Ten, like the heartbreaking loss to Michigan. But then we come out against Michigan State or someone like that, and then we're lackadaisical and they get up. And then, you know what, the game's all about runs, but you got to show some heart, some fight, And I think right now, if I was in the locker room at this time, or I could give a little suggestion, I would just tell the guys, you have about 6 games left. Your season can start right now. You can build going into these 6 games and win them all, go in the conference tournament and surprise some people, and see what happens on Selection Day Sunday. Don't worry about where we at right now. We're 16-8 right now, 16-7. Let's just look forward. Let's look at the future. What can we do right now? Take every game, one game at a time, and let's play our hardest like it's our last.
Yes, sir. One game at a time. Nebraska's a tough, scrappy team. They fight. They have a bunch of athletes. I played against Nebraska one time. Did you ever play against Nebraska?
I played against Nebraska. It's crazy.
They were in the Big Ten then when you played?
They wasn't in the Big Ten. They was in the Big 12, I think.
Okay.
And we had to go to Nebraska.
Yeah, it's tough. Lincoln is tough.
Man.
So before you describe your story, one quick story. We played them in '97, the year we went to the Final Four. Scrappy game. I think we wound up winning by like 8 or 9. But in that environment was very tough to play in. And I remember that game because Bobby Jackson, back to Bobby, he had a friend, a JUCO teammate that played for Nebraska. And I remember them having a real close relationship. So, but the game itself was a tough game, and we wound up pulling it out.
That's crazy. That's how it's supposed to go.
Supposed to. There's no game in the Big Ten that's a cakewalk. Every game is a dogfight. Like, there's no easy out. I tell people that all the time, especially now with the new teams they added. Conference, man, it's physical. The crowds are crazy on the road. You're not getting any calls.
So you might know that.
So it should be a good game. But like you said, going back to what you said, take one game at a time. Can't worry about what happened. Just take one game at a time. And like you said, the Big Ten tournament is a game changer. You never know. You might mess around and win it, or you might have 2 or 3 real good games where the committee has to say, you know what, based on their schedule, they deserve to get in. So we'll see, man. I'm going to be tuned in tonight. One thing I'm not going to do, VG, the last 3 guests, Akeem, Andre, and Trevor, they made predictions.
No, I'm not going to do that. I don't do that.
We went 0-3, so we're not going to do that. We're not going to
do that regardless. I ain't gonna put that much of a big thing on no one, on the team. I let everything.
Yes, sir. So, huh?
No, I was just saying to you, and I think I got stuck.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of, your career, the great career you had? Talk to the youth while you have a chance to deliver a message to them. And any last you want to say to Gopher fans in terms of how you want to be remembered for what you did during your time here?
It's always Sky Yuma. Every time I leave, every time I come, I believe maroon and gold. Every day I wake up, and I just want to tell the youth out there, just continue to keep working. Get a work ethic. Keep striving. Never stop believing in yourself, because we have late bloomers in this game. Because the people that's in the 7th grade, that's the nicest person in the 9th and 10th grade because they didn't work as hard. Now they don't flatline. And now you're in 11th and 12th grade and you've been working all this time. Now you start seeing them go this way. They're going up. So if I can tell the youth, just keep working at it, keep knocking at it, and it doesn't matter if you go Division I, Division II, Division III, because at the end of the day, when you get that degree, it doesn't tell you there's a division on it. All it says a bachelor's in this, a bachelor's in that. So that's my piece with the youth. Keep striving, keep striving, keep striving.
Yes, sir. You know, I like you rather be that late bloomer that kind of hit his peak at the right time.
For
I
sure.
know those ranking kids in the second and third grade, I know people make money off of that, but that stuff doesn't mean anything. You want, like you said, keep working, work on your craft. They play so many AAU games now where I tell clients all the time, you know what, AAU is good. It's a great tool, but if you don't work on your game, working on your game, that's where it's at. Because when you put that work in and you develop your craft, you know, nowadays, VG, people just need, a coach needs to see you one time. So when you go to that one AAU tournament and you kill, that's all you need. That's all
All it
you
takes is
don't
one.
want to go to 1,000 AAU tournaments. So that's my take. Like I said, AAU is a great tool, but a lot of parents get caught up. We got to go to this tournament. No, you got to work on your kid has to work on their game. And once you work on your game, that's when you show what you've been working on because you have to play too.
For sure.
But I think the ratio should be more gym time and less games in AAU. That's just my opinion.
For sure. For sure. Like you said, all it takes is one tournament. And they've took out some days of live periods, so it's not as many as it used to be with the new ruling. So kids have less days to work with. So now it's time to really work on your game and showcase your talent when you have that time. You know, and another thing I want to talk about off of AU for the fans out there, me. And if I'm not in your area, when I am in Minnesota, I'm in Jordan, Minnesota, at the rec center down there, at least once a month, starting. I came already last month. This month, March, April. Also, if I'm not in Jordan, Minnesota, and you're closer to the Twin Cities, I'm at Green Central, which is 35th and 4th Avenue over South Minneapolis. My guy's been running a program over there. He started at Phelps, went to Pearl, which is both over South Minneapolis. Now they're at Green Central. They're a traveling team, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. And I just been helping him. Not only has he been a mentor to me, but he's been a brother, someone I can count on. He's been my barber for the last 12 years. So he's a great guy. I watch him develop kids. I watch him develop kids on the football end and basketball end. So I'll definitely be over there helping out. So you can always catch me at those two places when I'm in Minnesota.
People, trust me, if you have a chance to work with VG, I'm going to try to partner with him on a few things. You have to show up because you're going to get so much from it. So one more time, his website is GrierEfficiency.com, right, VG? GrierEfficiency.com. On a personal note, we just want to really quick talk about an individual that meant a great deal to the Gopher basketball program. He was always around and showed nothing but love and support for so many years. Mr. Dick Ames, he passed away recently, so we just want to give a shout out and, you know, condolences to his family on his passing. VG, we talked about you had a relationship with Mr. Ames, so can you just talk about that briefly, about this great individual?
Definitely. Mr. Ames was one of a kind. He's maybe the only one in the world ever called me Benny Grier. No one ever called me Benny Grier. So I always knew it was him when he called my phone. And like I told you, in '04, he said I reminded him of old Harlem Globetrotter, Metal Lark Lemon. And he said, I just reminded him with my left hand of how things are. And he just took a liking to me, you know, and always told me to stay in class and go to school and play basketball. And always was like, keep at it, you're a great person. And over the years, after I left the Gophers, he continued to stay in contact, like, how are you? Where are you playing at? Things of that nature. So I know he really genuinely cared. You know, we would have heartfelt talks about how he was raised on a farm, and he took a small company that he started from this level and took it up to big ranks. So he was always just giving me life lessons. Like, it's not where you start, it's where you finish at, you know? And I got a chance to see him before he passed, a couple of days before he passed. And we sat down and, you know, he was able to talk, and we just talked about Gopher sports in general. And, you know, things of basketball, about your era with Clem, Quincy, you, Bobby. We talked about Willie Burden. We talked about my era, but just the persona he gave off and his attitude within that time, he was still in good spirits. You know, he was fighting the illness, and he was just in great spirits and was still a diehard Gopher to the end. You know, so that was phenomenal. And I want to ask you a question because he said it. Is it true? Would the chip would have came to Minneapolis if you wouldn't have got into?
I like to believe that, VG. I'm not a betting man, but I would like our chances. You know, everybody that I talk to that brings up that time says the same thing. You never know what if, but I like our chances if I was healthy. Kentucky was a great team. They had a bunch of pros on that team, and we just fell short that day. But I think that we would pull it out if I was 100%. But they were the better team that day, so kudos to Kentucky. And back to Mr. Dick Ames. Rest in peace, Dick Ames. Condolences and prayers to his family. So thank you, VG, man. Just want to say that we appreciate you for coming on today. Nothing but love and respect for you, brother. Like I said, you were one of those guys that just laid it out on the line every night. So as a Gopher fan, as a former Gopher, you made me proud watching you play and see all the hard work and the effort and just the passion that you displayed on a nightly basis. So I just want to thank you for that, brother, and thank you for coming on today. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you as well. You know, like I always give respect to the guys that became before me because y'all paid the way. So what y'all did, it made me play the same way, and I hope I did that for the guys after me. You understand?
You would have fit in perfectly with us in '97, bro. You would have been a perfect fit. So appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Fans, great Gopher fans. Be sure to continue to follow Golden Dunkers on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Like I said, this is our community to show love and support for one another and positivity for Gopher basketball. So let's just keep this thing going. Please be sure to let us know what former Gophers you want to see on Golden Dunkers Live next. We appreciate your feedback. We need that feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Keith Cook, thank you, man. You're a great partner. Thank you for all your help. Couldn't pull it off without you. And once again, let us know what Gophers from the past that you want to see on Golden Dunkers Live. Thank you. Go Gophers. Let's get this win tonight. You can find me on social media, 1833 Lock You Up. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Go Gophers. Thanks, VG.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love, brother.
Yes.